Hey there, it's Caroline here with Temple Transmissions, and I'm extra excited to be posting this because it's been a long minute since I posted a video, and it's a perfect divine timing with it being the spring equinox coming right up here in the Northern Hemisphere. And just in general, that feeling of um, rebirth, new beginnings. There's an energy of vitality coming back from whatever the invitation of winter was to go into the cave, to be quiet. And when we talk about the turn being in alignment with the turn of the wheel and the turn of the seasons, sometimes in our own personal life, it might not match the external. So for me personally, this is the first video I've posted in a very long time because I've been in a winter season, and that winter season has lasted a couple years. And when I went into it, knowing that I needed a sabbatical, there was a lot of death and loss in my own personal life. There was a lot of pause in my vocation and service work to the world, and I needed to go within and listen. And what I thought was going to be a couple months ended up being a couple years. And to really lay down identity, to really let oneself um, go into the cave, not knowing when one comes out and who one will be when one comes out. And so that's really so much of the journey I personally have been on. And speaking to many people, students, friends, family, clients, it's a similar invitation when we are resisting going just with what is going on in the external and really being able to listen to our own internal rhythm. So this is the first springing for me in a couple years that my internal clock and the external turn of the wheel are in alignment. So I'm pretty freaking excited. I'm super excited to be posting this. It's like, yeah, it's the life force vitality. But it took a minute, it took a long minute. And I think sometimes we can get that fire. I can get that fire where it's like, yes, let's go. And then it's like, oh, wait, it's spring. We had a frost warning yesterday, even though it was gorgeous and 70 over the weekend. And so it's that moment where we come out a little bit and then we go back in. We come out and then we go back in. So there's a tenderness to this new beginning. And so for fire people like me, it's a good reminder to be still and listen and take action from that stillness, because sometimes when we just like burst out, we can burn out really easily. So, one of the things that I'm excited to share is this rebirth in my own life, but what offering a rebirth and resurrection. What does resurrection mean? It comes from the old Latin word to rise again. So, where in your life, in your being, in your body, are you rising again? And so, when we come back up, so to rise up, it's not that we have left all that we have alchemized within our own being from having to sit in the ritual fires of death, and to really let identity go, to let relationships go, to let ideas and dreams die. So we're really sitting in that fire and letting ourselves go into that dark night. When we're resurrecting, when we're rising up, we still have the core self, right? So it's like that core essence, and who are we, regardless of what identity, what archetype we're working with in that moment, right? So as we're rising up, it's like, who are you now? And who you are now is different than when you were laid to rest, so to speak, and when you're in winter's long, dark night. However, it's this alchemy of letting go of the old, becoming the new, but you get to sit in your wisdom seat, right? So, for example, who I am now is not like I forgot or I lost all of my experience, all my wisdom, all the things that I walked with before. But I've had a lot longer than I had anticipated time to let what needed to die die. And then from that compost, from those moments of just dying into the unknown, into the void with no compass, no identity, no light, so to speak, to say this is the way. right? So when it's that rising up, there's these wisdom seeds that come from sitting into the length of the dark unknown, right? So as you're coming up now, it's this rising up and it's exciting and it can feel scary in moments. And then there is this invitation of light and warmth coaxing you out. So I created a playlist. It's going to be in the show notes and also a PDF explaining a ritual to use to help celebrate and help ritualize because it's so important right now to be able to use ceremony and ritual to anchor in the new and also honor what we have left behind. And so within this playlist, there's going to be a couple of songs that really just help you get into your body, come into present moment, come into the breath, and ritually and symbolically start on the ground and just let yourself really breathe in. You can lay down on the ground, you can be in child's pose and ask, like, what am I rising up from? Because that's a really important moment to mark for ourselves, right? So what are we rising up from? And just feeling into the tenderness, and it can be hard to come out from the cold. It can be hard to really shake off. Like once we gotten used to being in the place of no self for a moment and in the dark night, it can be as equally hard to come out as sometimes as it is to go in and to let go. So when we're rising up, these couple songs will just let yourself truly be guided by your body, your heart, your intuition of when it's time to rise up. And then there'll be a couple songs to just sink into your body and like what are the ways that the emotions, what are the ways that the dreams, that might have still be like behind the shoulder blades or be getting stuck, that you can just like start to move and open up to be able to really embrace this new beginning. And then there'll be a couple songs of really stepping forth into what this spring, what this turn of the year, what this energy of life force, vitality, new beginnings is really calling you forth. And you might not know. And that's okay too, but it's just allowing the moment of the unknown into the light really take you. So we're asking ourselves to go from the dark night, from the cave, out into the rising up of self, the rising up of the solar plexus, the sun, getting our digestive fires going and really supporting that at this time as well. And so then there'll be a song to just revel in the joy of that there is the longer days now after the equinox, that there will be more time for celebrations and gatherings and connection. The tends to be a time where we don't go out as much. We don't see our friends as much. We're just really in our, like, especially in the Western world, our nuclear family. So this is a time of gathering, seeing friends, maybe making that phone call to someone who's been on your mind and your heart. It's that reconnection time. So coming out and letting your body just like revel in the sun, revel in the way of going from the unconscious cave to the conscious mind, and really setting the stage for the next few months of allowing yourself to be in the light of vitality. And so that also means the dreams that have been in the cave. What are you wanting to begin? What's the inspiration of the mind? What is the inspiration of your creativity? What is the inspiration of the way that your heart wants to move in the world? It might be very different than it was in the fall when we went into the winter cave. So I'm super excited to be back here. I will be doing weekly talks, meditations, transmissions. So I'm so grateful to be here and to be a part of the way that the wheel is turning, not just in this seasonal year, but the way that the great turning of this time of prophecy, this time of moving into the golden age, and that, we're in the liminal space, we're in the transition. So it's so important to stay connected, to remember who we we are, to really ask the true self to come forth and to be mindful of the fears, the doubts, the personality, some scars that can really throw us off. So I feel so grateful to be back, so to speak. And if you would like the playlist and the PDF ritual, just click the link below and I will see you soon. All right, be well.